Next, let's focus on how women are fighting against poverty. In 2015, the UN began pursuing the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 points for a sustainable future to be carried out until 2030. Those goals meet global challenges such as inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, and peace. But the top goal is to end absolute poverty. For its part, China is working on a moderately prosperous society and eradicate extreme poverty. More than 850 million people, Chinese, have got out of the poverty, contributing 70% to poverty reduction efforts worldwide. But it is not an easy job, not at all. Each of them has a story to tell, and everyone has different reasons why they live in the poorest parts of the country. That's why we travel to the interiors of China, the southern part of Gansu province, to meet with some of them and hear how hard they are struggling to overcome challenges to their quality of life. Listen in as I get up close and personal with young student Xuelian and her volunteer teacher Yu Qing from Baihe County in China's Gansu province. Tell their stories of struggles and certainly triumphs in fighting poverty. 第一次上电视吧，哈？期待吗？
期待。
紧张不紧张？不紧张，看你也是大女孩 ，big girl 是吧？
嗯。
你一会儿还要去田里干活吗？今天？
是。
啊，今天收什么？就收
菜籽。
菜籽啊？
嗯。
菜籽收完以后怎么样？
菜籽收完以后就把它漏干净，然后晒干，就拿去榨油。
哦，谁来做？
是我和爷爷。
但爷爷身体不好，走那么远行吗？
有时候就我的这个爷爷在家里歇着，就是他那个病要注意些，我和我的大爷爷就去。
听说你学习不错，爷爷Xuelian学习怎么样？他不好意思讲。
学习还好。
最喜欢学习哪个门课呀？
喜欢学英语。
真的啊？
真的。
跟我说两句英语嘛。What's your name?
My name is 庞雪莲。
How old are you?
12。
好，说的不错。公鸡都打鸣了，给你祝贺呢。上学，你觉得以后最希望做什么事情？
我以后想考大学。
为什么要考大学？
因为考上大学，要是毕业了的话，就有工作做。以后我就挣钱养我的爷爷和他奶奶。
Xuelian特懂事儿哈。
他还想大学读出来还想为国家也效力他也还有这么的感觉。
爷爷说啥？
说我想把大学读出来，也想就是帮助国家。
那现在家里谁挣钱呀？
家里就都有病，就没有人出去挣钱。
那怎么活呢？
是我的就是我的姥姥在外面给我们寄钱。
爸爸妈妈呢？
爸爸妈妈都不要我了。
从小就跟爷爷长大的啊？
是啊。
几岁跟爷爷一起长大？
我从2岁的时候就和爷爷和他奶奶就在一起生活了。
他奶奶越来年纪越大了，怎么办呀？
我想就长大以后就照顾他。
现在你也在照顾他呀？假如对面呢是有爸爸妈妈，也有新疆的姥姥，你要说什么话吗？
我想你不要走了，再回到这个家里来。回来，我们一家人团圆。
如果遇到困难了怎么办呢？
我就去挑战，不放弃。
Xuelian is a tough girl. After our talk, she took me quite further into the mountains, where her family owns a small piece of land. There are quite a number of kids like Xuelian in her village. I spent the whole afternoon and evening with them that day. They went to the same school, Baihe County Central Primary School. The next morning, after a few hours on the road, it was already noon before we finally reached the school gate. This is one of those typical primary schools in the interior China. 1,000 students studying here, coming in 6 different levels and grades. And this is the noon time for them. I'm going to meet some of the teachers. 3 young volunteers enrolled from all over China by a program called Teach for China. Among them, Yu Qing, a young woman who returned to China a year ago after finishing her graduate school with an American university. The last time I was in your class, I look around. Everybody, maybe because the camera was in the classroom, was so diligent. I didn't expect that. Because in a primary school classroom, everyone would have their little mind go off a little bit from time to time. But it was quite amazing. These kids work really hard. Yeah. Most of them. Did they tell you why?
Well, it may sound like showing off, but I think they like my English class. That's what they wrote down.
It's not showing off. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I think you might think English is really far away from their life, but to be honest, to most of my students, English is their favorite subject.
Why?
It's not that hard compared with math. And they could feel the sense of achievement in learning English. And because I'm always trying to bring happiness and joy to my classroom, I think they enjoy being here. Even though they would not, they're not concerned about why am I learning English if I'm not going to use it something. But I think they are enjoying the process of learning, and that's very valuable to me.
But that's one thing. The other thing is, when I say heavy, is that on the one hand, you believe education is going to alleviate them out of poverty. But at the same time, it is not you who is the only factor playing an impact in their lives. It's a lot of other factors as well. I mean, as a teacher, how do you react to that? Not in class, but when you go back to your dorm, little room just inside the campus, how do you digest that every day?
It's very hard. But I always believe that I'm planting a seed in their heart, and maybe one day it will grow and it will bloom. It will grow to be a tall tree or whatever. But I believe that life is going to be beautiful because I know what seed I am planting. And I believe that process. I know a lot of people are talking about poverty alleviation. Well, I think education is definitely part of the methods to do that. Although it will be a very long process because you cannot see how the seed that you plant grow in one day. It may be 5 years, it may be 10 years, but I do believe that someday it will grow. I know that they will encounter many challenges. Sometimes I ask myself, what will happen when they go to middle school? Will they still remember what I taught them in primary school? Will that work? Sometimes I question myself. But if there's still one opportunity that it could work, I would grab it, and I would not let myself just go and see that happen. So I'm glad to be part of it, even though I might not be the one who will see that day, but I would be very grateful that I could be part of it.
You are here because you're part of the Teach for China program.
Yes.
And you volunteer to be in that program. It's mainly for young people to join, particularly those freshly graduated from universities, whether in China or overseas, to join and teach in China's interior areas, 2 years at least.
Yeah, 2-year program.
But once you're here, life is very different.
Yeah.
How did you adjust from the very beginning?
It was hard. You know, I used to shower every day, but it's definitely not possible here.
Yeah.
And
here is solar energized, right?
Yeah.
Solar energy.
It depends on the weather. And here I have to share my already very small dorm room with another teacher. And every part of my life, it's like brand new at the beginning.
Your hair was here.
Yeah,
now it's here.
Was here.
Beautiful hair. But you never get it cut?
Well, the real reason is that I've never found a good place to get it cut. So I just let it go.
It takes you hours, 1 day almost, to travel to the big cities, right?
Like it would take me 3 hours to get to the town. Let alone the city.
Yeah, so just forget it. Is that?
Yeah. I think now I'm enjoying the environment. I mean, I'm familiar with my daily life now. So.
How do you compare your life with your peers, let's just say, who graduated at the same time with you from St. Louis?
Yeah. I think I lose some of the life experiences that they could have, but I also gained more.
They're probably in consulting firms or investment banking.
Well, but they sleep less. They worry more. And I think I'm happier here. I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about the traffic or you know, just the city, the city life.
But your parents, I would assume, they would a little bit concerned because to them, their generation, your age probably is the time to think about family life, but plan for the future.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I really am. I think when I am growing, my parents are growing too. They are being more understanding and supporting. They actually visited me last month. I think that's a signal of them accepting my life and my job.
How did they like it?
Well, they did not like every minute of the journey, but I think in the end they enjoyed that.
What did they enjoy the most? And what do they dislike the most?
I took them to the village where my students live, and they had lunch with my students at their home, and it was very sweet. The grandparents made noodles, the local food for my parents, and they were talking even though in different dialects, but they were trying very hard. They were really trying to understand each other, and that's very cute actually. Yeah.
It is, it sounds cute.
It is.
You know, some people have been questioning about these possibilities or these methods, suggesting that one teacher stay with one school for 2 years. Time to adjust, getting along, getting into the situation, time to leave. So they argue whether it's about enriching the lives like teachers like you, rather than really enriching the lives on a consistent basis for the children here. On the other hand, there's also a difference between you and the local teachers. People also wonder whether that is fair or not. What do you think?
Oh, I think I never wanted to let them feel inferior to whether me or other fascinating people in the city. I think I want them to be that person who they think is fascinating. So, well, I think I'm opening a window for them to let them know what the other what the outer world looks like.
You mean for the children?
For the children. If they think that's fascinating, I would encourage them to pursue that. Why not? Why not give it a try? I mean, if you say that they don't have the access to keep going, well, I say, after I leave, other people will come, and a lot of people will offer different resources for them, and I would not let that opportunity go. I mean, I would not just stay here and do nothing. So I would still try. And the other question about the difference between me and the local teachers, I think we are here and we are teaching the students in our way, and that's also an interaction between us and the local teachers. I think we are learning from each other. They have very good class managing skills, and we have some new teaching methods, and we are interacting as well, and that's also a diversity to the school. I think a good school is a diverse school in the end. So yeah, that's how I perceive that.
At the end of the day, do you think your students will enjoy better their lives than even you do?
Well, I hope that. And I believe most of them can feel the happiness that they could get from the learning and from being with us, being with teacher and being in school. And I want to give them the sense of achievement. And I think that could accompany them for a longer time.